Good morning and welcome back to the channel. That wasn't the roof you was expecting, was it? So I need to go out first thing now. It's what, sorry, 6:25 in the morning to go pick up some extra trims for the fascias and soffits I fit yesterday. But they're not in stock at one particular Wicks. So not am I going to one Wicks, not two Wicks. I'm going to 3 Wicks. So I'm going to start off at Guildford, walk to Woking and come back to Bracknell. Here we go. Wicks number 1. I do love a Wicks tour. It's like a holiday for me. Wicks 1 done and not hugely successful. I was after 3 of these fascia straight joint connectors. They had 1, although on the online system it said they had 5. So on to Wokingham and see what they've got. But that one said they didn't have those ones, so the chance of actually having it is slim. But they might have the corner ones. So you know, it's all to play for. Worst case scenario, I just have to order them, but I kind of just wanted to go pick them up so that I could finish the fascias today. But we shall see. It's not over yet. Let's have a look. Wicks number 2, Woking. It's very nice. I remember being here years ago, actually put into the car park. It's quite random, so because also usually the Bracknell one, but we used to work over this area with the old man all the time, so kind of is a bit of a blast from the past. So, well, we'll see how we get on this one. So that was good fun. Well, no, I've not even been in yet, so I got here about 7:30, and for some reason the one in Woking doesn't open until 8. Why? Like every other Wicks I've ever been to opens at 7. So I've been sat here doing a bit of like paperwork and stuff. So, but yeah, there's a little queue of people now waiting to get in. Wicks is, if you're watching, open all your stores at 7 because that's kind of what we expect in the trade. People are moving in, so I'm going in. I'll see you in a minute. Well, it's a pain I had to wait, but yes, success. Right, I'm off to the Bracknell one now to pick up some fascia and a few other bits and pieces for the other parts of the day's work because I had to work from the furthest point back. So yeah, I'm off to Bracknell Wicks now and then I can get onto site. Lovely job. And there you go, Wicks 3 officially done. So now I can get off to work. So I left the house, was it 6:25? It's now 9 o'clock. So that's a lot of running around, but I've got the bits and pieces I need. If the other Wicks had been open slightly earlier like it should have been, then I could have been much better timing. But there you go, these things are the way they are. Trying to get to work and crack on. Right, that's it, back on site now. So I'm gonna get set up again. I've got one piece of fascia board which I'll chuck on here and get cut. So that'll go on the back. Now I'll then get all these lovely trims because I've now got them to finish off all these bits and pieces across the front. I've got that to put on a tiny bit at the back and the other side, and I've got the gutter trim to put at the very back as well. So yeah, basically back on site, cracking on. Clients already made me a cup of tea. See, I like this. These clients are lovely, like just such nice people to work for. Cup of tea, just waiting, just there. I mean, that's quality days. So right, I'm gonna get set up and get cracking. So I've just started, which is lovely. And how nice is this, all right? See, I'm not boasting, but my wife is so lovely that after sort of speaking to me and going, oh, you've had a running around day, you know, that sucks a little bit. She's only gone and got me a bacon roll, dropped it off, and a cup of coffee. I mean, that's pretty sweet. She's a good girl, my missus. She's really good. So I'm going to get tucked into that right now. Oh, the smell in the van is lovely. Right, I'm going to crack off and eat this bad boy then. I'll be back in a minute. Right, so I'm currently fitting trims and bits and pieces to kind of finish it off. So I'll show you this corner one up here. There is a slight tree in the way, but we'll work around that. Look at that. Can you see it? Hang on. That's where I get soaking wet now. Move the tree, move nature. Hopefully you can see that. Look how nice that looks, yeah? So what you do is, when you're fitting like these corner trims, notice there's no pins in this one. So what I do is, I use a 2-step glue. So basically it's super glue that I run up this seam here onto the fascia board. And then on the actual corner itself, I put the second part, which is a spray adhesive, down the back of this edge. Then just push it into place, keep it pinned, and it grabs immediately. So this bit, you're only gluing one side of it. So this side is still technically live. So again, it can just maneuver around a little bit, can expand and contract in the heat and allow itself to keep moving, which is perfect. And the same applies, I should have stayed in this corner because that's the one I was going to show you, but kind of like this corner bit here. So if I bring the trim up, there you go. So this bit here, which goes over the top and just finishes that beautifully. This side, still live, no problem. But I do actually put 2 little nails in this one, okay? Just to keep it pinned in place because I want to keep the pressure on this corner because actually that's the foam runs under here like you saw in yesterday's video. So this just helps to keep it in place, but at the same time it still now allows that to expand and contract where it needs to. I hope that bit of video is okay. I couldn't see the screen, so I had no idea what I was shooting. If it was crap, it's free. You know, it's fine, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the gutter trim on the back of the guard room because then I can finish the trims at the back end as well. So this comprises of this stuff. Essentially what this does is this gets tacked level with the roof line, and you have this trim which then pushes up into the little grooves on this one, which you can just see here. You can see like there and there, okay? So what it does is that clips in and pins the overhang of the rubber into that space and keeps it all locked in. But what this actually does is, the reason it's kind of tacked to the front of the fascia board is that it creates a little overhang like that. So that once your gutter sits underneath it, you know, the gutter can sit there, the trim sits in the middle of that, the water comes straight into the middle of the gutter, as opposed to just run off the fascia board and down. So that's why that exists. That's why it steps out a little bit, so water can drip straight into the gutter as opposed to missing it. Because don't forget, you've got your gutter brackets which pull it away a little bit as well. So good system, fantastic. This one isn't tacked on with your lovely little panel pin ones. That one actually gets screwed on. So I'm going to quickly swap over to the impact driver and a drill and get some screws. And I'm going to jump up there and I'll show you a bit more in a second. Up on the roof. That's right, I'm back up here again. I like doing it intermittently. It's a good song. Who doesn't love Robson and Jerome? They're awesome. They should do a remix of that. Right, anyway, here we go. So here's the roof trim. You can see it now. Look at it. Absolutely gorgeous. So basically you want to keep that top ledge level with the board there. You just want to cut like a couple of screws in it as you go. Doesn't need tons and tons, but that pins everything on nicely. So now you can see that bit of rubber, yeah, goes underneath that little lip there. And what will happen is when I put the next part on, it will push up into that and pin it like my finger is doing there, and the bottom part pins into there, and then that keeps everything lovely jubbly and in place. So this 50mm cut is perfect for that, because that's the right amount to just tuck under there. Absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the other length for down there, and then I'll jump back up with the clipping in trimmy and show you that going in. It's going to be slightly difficult to film with one hand. I'm actually working over the edge, so I might just put a bit in and then hold it and show you. We'll see how the filming goes, but we'll get it done. Right, here's a good tip for you, and this one is a good tip. Well, they're all good tips, obviously, but this will save you a bit of arseache. And we've all done it before, right? We've all miscut our trims by measuring from the bottom of the trim up. What are you talking about, Steve? Well, check this out, okay? So I know, I'm gonna measure from there. I've already got my measurements. It's about, what was that, 14.5, give or take? Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll take you around this side now. So 14.5. And if you come over this way, I'll show you the other half of the trim that I've just chopped. And you'll see, just on the inside there, it's got some numbers, 150, 175, 200. So they are measurements, all right? Now, what you don't want to do, like a plonker, is take that 14.5 and kind of come along here and measure it from the bottom of there to 14.5, mark it and then cut it. Because that isn't your measurement, because you've now lost this bit of space here, okay, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes the difference between actually making contact of where you're supposed to be and not. So what you want to do is you want to always measure from the inside like that, 14.5, okay? So you measure like that into there, and that is your actual measurement for cutting. And like I say, we've all done it, me included, many a time. You're just kind of rushing around, you're getting the job done, measure the wrong bit, come over here, radio's playing, you get distracted by a kick-ass tune, measure the wrong thing, go to put it up, and you're like, oh, and here's the other top tip. Before you actually glue it into place, take your cut one, hover it into the space just to make sure it's okay. Don't go gluing it straight away and then put it on and then go, ooh, I've miscut it, and oh, flipping it, now it's stuck. Because this is the two-part stuff that I'm using. Oh, I've lost my other part. But anyway, so it's either stick miter adhesive, okay? So it works on plastic, wood, all that kind of stuff. So you get that part, and there's a little tin of spray. So all I do is literally put a bit of stuff down here, a bit of the super glue, spray the other part, push it on, and it sticks pretty much instantly. You haven't got to hang around for 30 seconds. Just put it on, keep a bit firm, a bit of pressure for 5, sort of 10 seconds. You're done. It's glued, it's finished. So there you go. There's a little top tip about how to fit your trims. And trust me, it's a goodie. So Steve, I'm building my garden room, and I got the doors and windows ordered, but because I couldn't measure it to the last minute, and because of COVID and Brexit and a billion other things, there's a lead time of about 3 weeks. What can I possibly do? Well, the answer, whatever your name is, mate, is that. So all I'm doing is, because that is the issue, because obviously I can't order any doors and windows until the steel is finally in place. and get my measurements. I then send off to a couple of companies for quotations, see what the rough lead times are. By the time I get back to you, then you can actually place the order. So the one that I'm going for is a 3-week, well, 15-day give or take, so it might be slightly more, might be slightly less. But in the meantime, I want this place usable for the client, the floor in, the heater on, the lights in, the power on, absolutely 100% functional. So all I'm doing is zipping a bit of plain batten around the window reveal and the floor so you don't get a draft. Cutting this bit of 80mm MDF to size, screwing it in from the back so it's a bit neater, and then what I'll do, I mean I won't fill any of this stuff, but I will paint this the same colour as the wall, just so it looks a bit neater. So while the client's living with it, it doesn't look, you don't look at the wall going, okay, look, a bit crap, isn't it? So, I mean, it kind of will, but not as bad as it would have done if you see what I mean. And before people ask, yes, 18mm MDF would be perfect for this because it isn't actually going to get wet because we've got 600mm canopy at the front, so it's going to be absolutely fine. It wouldn't do forever, but for a couple of weeks or whatever, job done. So fit that one. Going to cut this one now. So literally all I'm going to do is measure from the floor up to here. Cut the batten, so 2 lengths either side. Screw those in. Don't nail it in because you want to be able to get these out again. They're only temporary, remember? So screws are a lot easier to pull out. Measure the head, measure the floor, get those zipped in, and then measure the aperture. Side to side, top to bottom. Knock off about 10mm either side, just so you've got 5mm either way, just to play, just to kind of get it in place. Once you've done that, literally from the outside, back a couple of screws in, like that. I'll chuck a few more in a minute, I've run out of my pocket. And then that is it, it's closed up. I'll do the same for the door. Well, not obviously completely close it up. I've got some gate hinges that I'm gonna put on it. I'll put a padlock on it as well so it can still be secured. And yes, that is it. That is what we do in these situations because we're living in a world where stuff takes a lot longer to get hold of. Before, I'd order up, bang, and I'd have my doors and windows, white UPVC, no bother, 7 to 10 days max, easy peasy. But that isn't the world we live in anymore. So hopefully things get back to normal soon. But until then, this is what we've got to do. It gets the job done nicely. And voila, 20 minutes later, dos. Big gaping hole. I'll sort that bit out in a minute. Just take it easy, easy. There you go. Secured, nice. You're not going to get any breeze. You know, all you do is very, very minimal because it's also secured at the floor as well, so that'll just stop any loss of major heat, which is good, which you're not really going to need this time of year anyway. I mean, even in the winter, I'll still do the same. And there you go. So let's just kind of close it off. It's quite nice. I quite like it because the acoustics really start to kick in now. So when I'm playing my Planet Rock, or me Capital Dance, or me Absolute 90s, or just me generic kick-ass rock music, it's going to sound epic in here, so I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to have a bite to eat, and then once I come back, I'll get the temporary door on, which will be good fun. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. Right, here we go. So this will be like in little bits and pieces as we go through, but essentially what I'm doing now is, this is my door. It is beautiful, highly bespoke. Well, it will be. So it's cut to the right size for the aperture to get us roughly in there. I'm using these hinges, 3 of them, because, you know, just want to make sure it's like hung well, and these are like £7.50 each or something, so not too expensive. What I've done is I've decided to put the first hinge 20 centimetres or 200mm from there to there, same for the top, and that'll give us about 5 3/4 into the centre. I've marked this side through the centre of the hinge. I've also done the underneath, as you can now see. So basically when I put that hinge on, you see those 2 lines there. That now means it's running through the centre of that line. So you see that? So I can pick up those easy. Now, I want to screw these through, obviously, but 18mm MDF isn't strong enough on its Jack Jones to take the weight of 3 of these hinges and act as a door. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I've marked the back, so my offcuts for my framing for the windows, I'll cut these to about 45, and I'll screw those to here, so that when I put this on the other side and screw through, that is being screwed through the 18mm ply plus 20mm of that as well, which means it's now got a good bite, it's got a good fixing. So that means it won't fall off, it won't do anything, it's going to stay there for as long as we need it to. So that is me plan. So yeah, just a bit of forethought, sort of taking into account the fact that MDF does weigh quite a bit actually, especially when it's still at 1.22 by, what's this, nearly 1.85, or something, nearly 1900. So yeah, it's going to weigh a little bit. So I want to get it up, get it secured. These are also really cool because they're nice and simple, they're straightforward to fix, because all I've got to do is zip it to the outside of the building. You know, as opposed to going for like more conventional hinges, literally all I've got to do is take that, zip it to the front of that. I mean, where this is in the way, all I'm going to do is just circular saw, cut that little bit out just so I can get this in. That's no problem at all. This is all it's doing is carrying the cladding anyway, so I can do that simple repair job on that. Take 2 seconds. Get my 3 hinges on, and then that's it. And then what I'll do is I'll put my baby reveal just on in here. So again, this wood here will act as a door stop. So it basically be 18mm from this end to there, and then from that point on will be the batten just to kind of act as the door stop, so it's got something to close upon. And then I will also chuck on one of these. So again, little kit, comes with padlock, so that the whole thing can still be secured and locked up every night. Easy peasy. So that is my plan. So I'm going to crack on, get that stuck on, get the hinges on, and then get it swung and see where we're at. And once I get it up, it may mean that it needs a bit of a trim as well, because these hinges might pull it a bit further forward or whatever. So I'll get it swinging and then just cut it in situ. Easy. Done and dusted. Want to see it? Meow. That's not bad, is it? See, look how neat that is. Look, the hinges, oh, mesmerising. And check it out, look. Now, full security, nothing but the best. Open it up, do this. There you go. Right, let me just turn the radar down. Don't get done for copyright infringement and all that stuff. So there you go. You can now see what I'm going to do is I'll grab a sliding bolt for here tomorrow, so you can actually close it or keep it closed on the inside. You can see I've now got surround all the way around it and the floor. Like I say, you don't have to do that, but what it'll do is it just stops the wind from blasting in should we get any, which we get quite a bit at the minute because it's August. So there you go, that is it basically done. So I've had to use a bit of blue batten up here because that's all I had. And I had to use some steel screws to actually get it up because I've got nothing else to fix into except for the steel. So 3 of those in, so that ain't going bloody anywhere. And that is it. We now have a temporary door, temporary windows. So that now means I can get these all coated up in the wall colour just to make it look like I say a bit neater for the client. Get the inside of the door painted as well, so it just looks a bit nicer. So right, I think I'm probably going to do that in a minute, but first I think I'm going to tidy up because I hate a mess, and I may have finished up a lot of these bits and pieces now, so that'd be quite exciting as well. So right, it's time to cleanse the place. That's it, I'm done for the day. Not because I've had enough, because it's just the end of the day and that's it. You know, I can't work 24 hours a day. But looky. I mean, I know they're just like closed off doors and it is just MDF, but still, it's pretty impressive like to get all that lot done today. So that's all the faces, soffits, all the trims, everything else finished. The roof is completely 100% done. All the joints are now sorted on the fascia and soffit. You can see underneath, looking very, very nice. Nice little bit of like joining there. Obviously all these now fit, as you just seen. And I've also cleaned the floor. I hate a dirty site, so it's nice to kind of get all that crap up. So there you can see, the flooring is now exposed. All the Ergo Protect stuff is off. All my crap is in one corner. So tomorrow, the first thing I'll do, it's quite echoey in it, is paint these 2 panels along with a door in the wall colour. Like I said, just a camouflage. Then I'll get the floor protection, the underlay on the floor, and I'll start getting the floor fit tomorrow as well. So yes, this is going to really start to feel like a proper little space tomorrow, which is going to be epic. All lighting provided by the wall, obviously. Only the very best. Well, till Andy gets on site and chops some holes and wires some stuff up and does whatever sparkies do. Apart from that, that is it. If you like what you've seen, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, tell your friends, share the content, because why not? And that'll be very, very helpful. I really appreciate it. So whatever you're up to, guys, have a great one. Any comments, ping them below. I'll get back to you a bit later on. See you later.